Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to the stream today. Hope everyone is doing good. So, please introduce yourselves in the chat. How are you doing? What are you working on? Uh, I know it's not like the regular meetups, but still, we try to network as much as we can. We should try to network as much as we can. So that's the only way I can think of as of now. That try to introduce yourself. What are you working on? And how are you doing? Also, as you can see on in the slides, today's topic is there, and KubeCon is coming, and tomorrow, for starting tomorrow, next week, whole will be busy with KubeCon. I have two sessions, as you can see. So if you are attending KubeCon, make sure to add them to your calendars. It will be really, I mean, I'll appreciate that if you join my session, and I can assure you that you'll get a cool demo. And this is the YouTube channel for the people who are new to the channel. So we do these live streams on regular basis on the cloud native technology, and we have been doing a Golang series. We have done tons of other videos on serverless, on Terraform, Golang, Influx. So make sure you check that out. It's pretty cool, and we have made a good catalog as of now. And I'm trying to trim down the videos and create a playlist out of that. So we have a Docker playlist already created. So if you go to the playlist section, you'll find the Docker series in there, and only Docker videos by Saloni, who has joined us today. So, and today is part 7, which she'll be talking in a moment. And today also includes demos, of course, and a lot of demos. So yes, there is a free pass also, by the way, for KubeCon if you want to join. But that is only for the keynotes and for the some of the other stuff. So make sure you at least have the free pass, and you also enter. I don't know whether that's stopped for now. So there was something like if you register by so and so date, you get a chance to enter in a giveaway. So make sure you register. And the KubeCon will be a massive event, as it is in person. So it will be huge virtual as well. So they have taken care of all the like how we'll do the networking, how the sponsor showcase will be working, and yes, we as CSEF ambassador, I will be there for all the days, and will be there for answering your queries, doing networking, live mentoring. So all those things will be there, as it is in the regular KubeCon. Though I have not been to KubeCon, but I regularly follow all the updates, so I know like it's massive. It'll be a change. I mean, but let's make this big. So attend KubeCon, and we'll meet there as well. So we are, I think, 5 minutes past the time. So let's start. So those of you who have joined, thank you and welcome you all to the stream. Please share as much as you can so that it reaches to the maximum audience. That's what motivates me and my fellow community members who join me for the streams. So with that, I will hand over to Saloni for the first session. So Saloni, over to you for your session.
Thank you, Sayam. Let me start presenting. I think Sayam has disabled my screen sharing. Yeah, now I'm good to share. All right. So welcome all to the Docker part 7. If you want to learn more about Docker from the scratch, so you can just subscribe to Sayam's channel and view my previous parts, that is 1 to 6. I have explained everything from very basics and containers, what are Docker, what is Docker, difference between containers and VMs, container lifecycle, security, networking, little about that. And also I have shared from which docs you can go through these things. So let's start with the part 7, that is Docker Compose. And to start with, I would let you know why we need Docker Compose and for what Docker Compose is used for. So as you can see on the screen, so Compose is a tool for defining and running multi-container Docker applications. So basically Compose is used when you need to run the multi-container Docker applications, where you need to have different containers. For that, we use the Compose part. Basically, Compose is used for development environments, automated testing environments, single host environment, and Docker Compose in production as well. So we'll go through these use cases one by one, and then we'll go through a short demo on this Docker Compose, how it works, and I will be showing you how to run Compose. So basically, when we talk about development environments, so when you are developing a software and you want to run an application in an isolated environment, and so you need a interaction. The Compose command line tool can be used to create the environment and to create the interaction. And the Compose file provides you a way to document and configure all of your application services and its dependencies like databases, queues, caches, web services, APIs, and etc. So when you use the Docker Compose command line, you can create and start one or more containers for each dependency with just a single command. So these features provides a convenient way for the developer to get started on a project, and Compose can reduce a multi-page developer getting started guide to a single machine readable format. So that is the very good feature of Docker Compose. So this is been widely used in development environments. When we move on to the next thing, that is automated testing environments. So this is an important part of any continuous deployment or any continuous integration process. Uh, that it is automate that automated test suite is there. So automated end-to-end testing requires an environment in which you need to run the tests. So Compose provide a very convenient way to create, and you can just deploy or destroy your isolated testing environments for your test suite. So by defining the full environment in a Compose file, you can create and destroy these environments in just few commands. Just you need to run few commands, and then you can define the full environment, and you can easily destroy or create your environments. So this is Compose is very much useful for the automated testing environments as well. Now coming to the production environment and single host deployments. So Compose was traditionally used or focused on the development and testing environments, but now as we are approaching to the newer releases, and you can use Docker Compose to deploy a remote Docker engine as well, and it along with Docker machine or Docker Swarm cluster, it is used in the production environments as well. So for if you want to learn more about this Docker Compose, you can just go to docs.docker.com/compose, and you can learn more about Docker Compose and the features of Docker Compose. Moving on to the next part. So as I mentioned earlier, Docker Compose is a very simple thing to do. So there is some you need to just perform these three simple steps, and you can easily run your Docker Compose. So Docker file you need to create, and then Docker Compose YAML you need to create, and then just a simple command you need to run, that is Docker Compose up, and you can easily run your environment, your containers. So this is a very simple example of a Docker Compose file. Here, what we have done is we have uh, explain the version, which compose file version we should use. So it's 3, you can use 3.8, 3.3, whatever you want. Then we have defined the services here, and then image ports, that is 8080 over here. So let's see. And this is a very simple compose file. Now let me share a document to you and show you what you need to learn about this. So we are here in this. So I was talking about this Docker, docs.docker.com compose. You can learn more about these things, these environments over here. If you go, these are the features, and these are multiple isolated environments on single hosts. Please go through this document. This will be of help. And now moving on to the version, here it is explained what you can write in a file Docker, what you can define in a YAML, and what all it explains about. So starting from the very beginning. So this is a compose file structure, and talking about the build, why we use the build command. So build can be specified either as a string containing a path to the build context. So from where you want to build your image, your file, from where you want to pick up your Docker file. So you can define these things like this. So suppose you want your image name web app here, and if you want to tag it, name, tag it as tag. So you can define it like this. So this is the way how you can do. And this is the context. If you want to define a path or a directory containing a Docker file, if you have placed your Docker file in some other path, you can do it like this. And if you want to provide the name of a Docker file, you can just simply write the build and then context. And after that, you can provide a Docker file name as well. So you can learn more about args and cache from labels your network. You can define network as well. So from where you want to connect, or from where you want to run your instructions during the build. So you can just define network host, then network, what kind of network, custom network one, or if you don't want any of the networking to be enabled, so you can just write network none over here. So it will disable your networking during the build. So you can also mention the size over here, like it is mentioned here. So 2 GB, or you can just mention like this. Now moving on to the next. So you can just write command as well, default command which you want to run. So this is bundle exec thin. So you can just go to this document, and I will be pasting these links after my session. So this is also another file. This is using 3.8 version, as I have mentioned earlier, the version which suits you, which, so you can mention here 3.3, 3.8, whatever. And Redis image we are using, so it is written over here Redis latest. And deploy, you want one replica of it. Then configurations, and these are the syntax. So let's move on a little lower. If we go ahead here, we can see this depends on function over here. So you can also express your dependencies between the services. So here, if you see this example, this is a very simple example. So this build depends on the DB. So whenever, if your DB is down, it will not, your application will not run, and it is dependent on your DB. So once the DB is up, then only your application will come up. So deploy function. So this is how you can write deploy. And labels, you can set mode, placement. So we will be using play with Docker, and we will be running this simple example over here, which I have provided. So let's go to play with Docker, and let's get started. You can just run a demo along with me. And if you have any doubts, you can just paste it in the chat. We have Sangam, Sayam with us. They can help you. If you have any doubts, you can also use play with Docker along with me. So let us first check whether we have Docker Compose in here. So we can just type a simple command to check. Yes, we have. And then let's clear it out and let's try to create a simple Docker YAML compose. So you need to keep name as this and you can use extension as YAML or YML, anything which you like. And this time I'm just copying it from my PPT. Just so I'm defining a version 3 services web and nginx port I have defined as 8080. So let's go ahead and save this YAML and let's run it. So as I've mentioned earlier, if you want to just run this, so there is a very simple command. What you need to run is docker compose up, and here we go. It is pulling nginx image, and then so let's check it out whether 8080 have nginx. So okay, so this is port 80. Let's open it and check. Yes, it's there. We have successfully run this. Now let's go back and let's exit out of this. Now what we are going to do is we will add volume in here. So what I will do is I will just create a index HTML file and put a message over here, and then we'll mount this index.html in the path. So I will just write welcome all. Let's save it. And now let's edit our Docker Compose YAML and mount it. So in order to do that, we just have a simple command, simple function over here. So what we are doing over here is the index.html which I have created. We are mounting it on USR share nginx because this index.html file is placed over here. If you want, I can show you. So for now, let's save it. And then what I can do is let's run this and see what happens. And what I am going to do is now I will just run this in background. So for doing so, you can just give command -d and let's go back. Let's wait for it a while. Okay, let's go back and open the port. Okay, let's check our file again. Yeah, Docker compose up. Okay, there is a problem with our compose file. Let's check it out. What's there? I think there is a extra space between hyphen and indentation is wrong. Yes, volumes. Okay, let's correct it. Volume should be here. Let's try running it out now. All right, let's check it out. Hmm. Look, such a simple file is having Let's try running it now. Okay, it is done. Now, indentation problem was there, so you have to be very careful while making a file. And now let's see what comes. Yes, we have mounted our index.html and it is welcome all in here. So this is how you can do it. Now let's move on to little complicated file, and let me first show you from where you can take sample apps with Compose. So this is the site I will be pasting shortly on the chat. So this is from where you can just take samples and demos to the Compose. So I'm just choosing the last one, WordPress site one. So let's go ahead here, and what I'll do is first I will just copy this and let it run, then I will explain how it goes. So in order not to disturb my previous YAML file, what I'm doing is I'm just making a folder here, and I will create a next file inside this. So what I will do is docker compose dot, and let's paste this out. So docker, let's try to run this. Okay, till the time it is pulling and completing all this data, let's go back to this and let's see what this compose YAML is doing. So what it is doing is basically it is creating a WordPress site using MySQL, and what we have done is we have set the volume. So here data will go var lib MySQL, and it will always restart whenever your container, whenever your service is this is going down, it will restart it always. And environment we have said, so MySQL root password is some WordPress, and DB is WordPress, then user is WordPress, password is WordPress. And as I have explained earlier, so this WordPress site depends on DB. So when your DB will go up, only then your site will be up. So the port defined over here is 8080, and image what we have used is the latest one from here. And here also we have defined the environment. So environment is WordPress DB host, then DB user is WordPress. This is how you do. And these are the volumes, DB data. So let's see what is happening with our playground. Let's go ahead with that. And let's check it out. Check out the 8080 server, 8000, sorry. So our site is up. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's see how what we can do here. So let's provide a subtitle, anything, username and password. You can provide whatever you want. So I'm confirming I want this week password, and let's go ahead and try this out. It works very smooth. And let's try logging in. Here we go. So you can see. So now what I am going to do is I will go back to the playground, and I will just quit from this side, and you will see that this will go because I came out from that. So it's gone. Now when we will try to run this file again, it will directly take you to that WordPress site. So docker compose up. So you can just mention -d if you want to run in background, if you don't want to see all these things all here. So we have 8000 in here. Look at this. We are back again inside with my username, my password. So nothing has been lost and you are inside. No need to create your account again and you have this thing back. So this was all from my side, and the last command which I want to show you is, so let's check out the last thing over here. So if you mention this, it will clean up all your networks, all your volumes, and this is the command which I wanted to show you in the last. So this was all for today, and thank you so much for watching this. You can see my previous lectures in the in Sayam Pathak's channel. And over to you, Sayam.
Okay, so thank you, Saloni. That was, I think, a very great introduction to Docker Compose with very cool demos, like explaining from the scratch, starting with the Nginx, then having a volume over that, mounting that, and then having a multi-container service in the compose file where you have a front end and a back end, a DB, and connected to the front end, and then you dismantle everything, and still you have everything when you have the volumes up. So I think that's very interesting. And from there on, I think the folks who have joined with us today, so you can go back and take this and build something cool, tag us and let us know like what you have built with this with Docker Compose. And I think that's really powerful for CI systems, for your development environment, for having building stacks and building the applications, and having just a compose file, giving it to your friends and say, okay, this is my application, go try it out. With that, I'll share my screen, and we'll go through the demos. Let me, okay. So we'll go through the demos over GCP, because I will be discussing on Cloud Run. And please share to your community or your social media platforms, and let's have more audience and more people seeing. I mean, it's just to increase the reach so that everybody can learn and upskill themselves. And serverless, Cloud Run, that, like how well known these topics are, and how what is the rise in the adoption of serverless in the industry. With that respect, I think everybody should learn that. So I would suggest, like, please go ahead and share it with your friends so that everyone can benefit from it. So we have, so today I will be discussing on Cloud Run. So I already have a few of the videos on serverless and Cloud Run, so you can check them out if you have not seen. So it's on my YouTube channel. Just let me show you that. So I already have those videos which are there. So this one was there, introduction to serverless with Cloud Run, and then another one was Cloud Run with GitHub Actions. So now we'll go further, and we'll do two more demos today. One will be deploying Cloud Run Hello World application on GKE, and another one will be using Terraform. So Terraform is very, I mean, it's not popular now. It has been popular for a long time now. So we'll be using Terraform as well. So I have already a cloud account, and the same GitHub repo that I have been using, my GitHub repo is there. So this GitHub repo will be using for the demo purpose. So let's begin with the demos. So this is the plain GCP account. And what we are going to do is, first let's do the GKE demo, and then we'll do the Terraform demo. So for the GKE demo, obviously the first step is creating the Kubernetes engine, and we'll go ahead and create the Kubernetes engine. So let's click on Kubernetes. And as soon as we click on Kubernetes engine, it will start enabling the API. As you can see, the Kubernetes engine API is being enabled. Yeah, we have to wait. No other option. Yeah, we have the option. What we can do is we can still go back to the repo and just see what is happening over there. So now what we'll do is, so this is just a sample, draft. I can create a gist out of that if you want. I mean, it's just nothing fancy over here. It's just the configurations and steps that I have mentioned so that I don't forget anything or I don't fall into trouble. So we'll be using the same repo. I think the API should be enabled by now. Okay, let's go ahead and create the cluster. So in this session, I'll not talk about like the depths of GKE itself. Obviously, in future, I can do a live session on GKE deep dive as well if you want. That's not a problem. But for now, we'll just create a GKE clusters and do the necessary steps that are required to run Cloud Run on GKE. So let's click on create cluster. So that's a very fresh from scratch. So you can do it on your own or you can follow along or you can do it later. Okay, it's taking some time. I don't know whether whenever I am giving the demos, the network is slow. So let me see if it's due to, yeah, I think it has slowed down a bit. Okay, it's not responding. Okay, it's there finally. So this is the cluster creation page for GKE. So what we'll do is we'll give it a name. Let's give it Cloud Run Demo. And let's now go to the default pool. In the default pool, I would prefer a few extra nodes because sometimes when we are enabling a service Istio, it creates a lot of pods in the Istio namespace, Istio system namespace, and you might run out of capacity. So for safety precautions, let me take 5. Then let's go to the node. I'll not take big size nodes. Let me take N1 standard 2. That should be enough. Boot disk size also is 50 gigs enough because we're not doing some heavy operations. In the security section, I want to allow full access to the cloud API so that the cloud API interaction is smooth. Then let's go to the feature section and enable Cloud Run for Anthos and enable the Istio as well. So these things, this is just simple settings, creating a cluster. Now let's head on create. Obviously, it will take few minutes to create, and then we'll we'll deploy the Cloud Run application. Oh, yes, you can do it from the gcloud commands as well. I mean, there's no harm in creating from the gcloud commands if you want to. So, but for that, you need to have your gcloud create command. Or by the way, while creating a cluster, in the end, small bottom, it's given like gcloud clusters deploy. That particular command also comes whenever you apply any or create any GCP product, GCP service. So that is there. In the meanwhile, what we can do is, so be sure you check the Cloud Run, obviously, the Cloud Run demos. So this is the repository that we use. Yes, I'll put all the links. Yeah, I can put all the links and everything in the repository itself, so you don't have to switch between the gist and the repository. So I'll put in the repository itself. Let's see what else we have now. Okay, we have the cluster. Yes, now it's just that we have to create the Cloud Run service. So let's open the Cloud Run. Meanwhile, the service is getting created. Oh, it doesn't allow me to open the next tab, but from here, if I open it, should allow. Cloud Run, open a new tab. By the way, GKE turned 5, and they have released, I think, a Kubernetes quest on Quick Labs with 1 month free access. And I just tweeted about that as well yesterday. So you can click there and have a free 1 month access and learn GCP by doing, learn GKE by doing, and obviously it has some Kubernetes basics, theoretical theory as well. I feel it's pretty good. So whatever we are getting to learn, and you know that Cloud Run is based on the Knative tech. So GKE enables some of the powerful features. Like GKE enables you to have the wait time, or the the timeouts to be greater in time, and also you can use TPUs and the GPUs with Cloud Run when you are deploying it inside the GKE cluster. So I think it's almost ready. So we have got the cluster size as 5 and total cores, and everything is displaying. The numbers are displaying. So it's coming up. And in the meanwhile, what we can do is we can also enable the Cloud Shell, because anyways, we'll be needing it for Terraform. And let's activate it and keep it open in another terminal window. Also, I would like to tell you that Hub Station July edition was out. So those who are new to the channel, Hub Station is a place where it's the newsletter, monthly newsletter by the community and for the community. And we every month end we curate the list of the news, the tech updates, the blogs written by the community, and the very good podcasts, the event recordings, upcoming events, and other resources. And you can see in the other resources, I mean, it's really good. There are Go notes, Kubernetes notes, free credits, cloud credits for KHVS cluster, Kubernetes workshops, then tools and repositories to try out, and some of the links that you can join for collaboration. So this is kind of a newsletter by the community for the community. And if you want to contribute, then please go to the GitHub and the newsletter repository, and you can raise an issue. So like you can see, you can raise an issue. So these are by the community. People raise the issue, and I will include them in the next month's newsletter. So I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good overview of the month, what has happened in the cloud native tech. So make sure you check that out. I'll paste the link. And let's open the terminal in the new window. I would want that in the new window, not the. Okay, so our cluster is ready. So our GK cluster is ready. So let's go to Cloud Run and we'll create a service over there. So let's close this terminal and create a service. So Cloud Run is a serverless offering by Google. And if you are new, I would recommend to go through my previous tutorials, which are there on YouTube, which they're actually from scratch, the introduction to serverless with Cloud Run, and then Cloud Run with GitHub Actions. So they have a couple of demos. So now we are deploying Cloud Run for Anthos. We are not choosing the default Cloud Run fully managed. We are using Cloud Run for Anthos. Now it will show me the clusters available. So as of now, the cluster is not ready because I'm not able to select. So it is deploying some of the stuff in the background, and that some of the things are like Istio components and enabling the Cloud Run, which we selected in the feature section while we were creating the GK cluster. So let's go back and come back again and see if it's there. Okay, it will take some time more. I hope you at least have heard of GKE. So GKE is Google Kubernetes Engine, and it is a managed Kubernetes offering by Google. And it's the only one with a native Istio integration as well, which is still in beta. So yes, our cluster is ready and clickable. So I can select that, and it's the namespace, like in which namespace you want to deploy this particular Cloud Run application. Let's say cloud demo, and I want the connectivity to be external. Let's click next. So container image URL, we should have an image. So I think there's already a hello world already image present. So we'll use that. Let's create it. So it will be creating its revision over there. So Cloud Run demo is already there. So let's go in the cluster. So what's the good thing about GKE is that from GKE console, I mean Google Cloud Console itself, you can see actually what all is happening inside the cluster. So you can see what all workloads are there. So you can see like the Cloud Run demo is already 1 out of 1 available. So let's try to get the ingress. So Istio creates an ingress gateway, and we'll be using the gateway to connect to, I mean, just to see whether our service is working. So how the service works is, so Cloud Run demo is there, and it says the URL is cloudrundemo.default.example.com, which is the name of the service, then the namespace, and that's how it looks. And after that, in the Cloud Shell, let me copy stuff, and so how we'll do is we'll do a curl command, and then we'll copy the Istio ingress gateway 80 port. Let me just do this. Okay. And let's copy the IP. Let's paste the IP over here. Okay, I shouldn't have copied the link address actually. Let me copy the IP again. So we'll go here. We'll copy the IP. Yes. So let's copy the IP and go back to the Cloud Shell, and okay, so just let me check if my host name is correct. cloudrundemo.default.example.com. Okay, so I have given a wrong name. Okay, it's right only. Cloud Run Demo default example.com, cloud demo default example.com, and we should have HTTP. We should have I hope the service is still there. We have to pass the header. I think we have done it correct only. Why it is failing to connect? Let me increase the size, by the way. So what we are doing here is, okay, let me just change this thing as well. Yeah, That was the problem of an inverted comma because I copied it from my DNS name because if you know the concepts of Istio, how it works is you have a virtual service, then you have the gateway, and if you configure the DNS to be proper, then when you hit the DNS, you will be able to open from the web browser as well. So like this, you can actually you have seen that you have actually deployed a Cloud Run on GKE. So that's also one of the very good features that Cloud Run have introduced recently. And so we already discussed Cloud Run fully managed using my previous GitHub repository. Today we have discussed Cloud Run on GKE. Now let's go to our second demo of the day, which is spinning up a Cloud Run service using Terraform. So Terraform is an infrastructure provisioning tool. And again, if you have not seen the Terraform introduction, of your very beginner, then this video is there, which tells you about, so where I discuss how you can use Terraform, basically what Terraform is, and the basic concepts of Terraform. So with this, let's move on to our Cloud Shell. I hope the font is clear. I can make a bit more big. So why I'm using Cloud Shell is because it reduces the pain of installing Terraform and everything. So you can see Terraform is already installed. So you already have the Terraform installed on the Cloud Shell. So I don't have to do anything. Let me go to the Medium. So the node section. So we have cloned the repository. So this is my repository, that the same repository that we have been using from past few weeks. Let's go inside. Let's do a Docker build hyphen tag. And I hope you are well aware of all these commands by now, because Saloni has taught everything. And we should have the project ID that I'll copy from here. That's demo. So it's sending the build context to the daemon. And you all know the regular stuff from the Docker file. So our image is successfully tagged. Now let's push this image. And let's copy the Terraform file also that we have. Okay, let me clear the screen and let me increase font bit more for a better understanding. So let's create a file, which is, let's call it maybe demo.tf or Terraform file. And we have to change a couple of things over here. Let me just first change that, and then we'll move to the explanation part. So it is, yeah. So let me change this. And oh, it's not copied, I think. Let me copy that again. Okay. And one more place, which is this. Paste. Okay. So what we are doing is we are in Terraform, we have provider, and Google provider is already there. So we give the provider, and we give the project. We don't need to pass the credentials over here because we are using Cloud Shell and it's already authenticated with project. Resources. So first thing that we need to do before actually using Cloud Run before using the Cloud Run is we have to enable Cloud Run API. Now you must be thinking the Cloud Run API is already enabled, but that is not true. Yeah, but that is not true, because only the Cloud Run for Anthos was enabled, because we enabled it while creating the GK cluster. We take that, and when it was building the GK cluster, it enabled that. That's why we are only able to create the service with Cloud Run for Anthos. So if you can directly enable it from here before running it and delete that section, or if you fully want to automate stuff, so you need to specify that first enable the Cloud Run API. So it is for enabling the API. Then you have your resource Cloud Run. So this is the actual resource. So what I'm doing here is I want to create a resource Cloud Run, and I want to give it a name, Cloud Run Siam, or you can give whatever you want. Then the location, and then in the template spec container section, I want to keep the image. So this is the image that I want my service to be deployed. Then traffic, you can give how much percent traffic that you want to give. Depends on, again, it's very clear, like it depends on this particular thing. So unless and until the service, the Cloud Run API basically is not enabled, this particular resource will not getting start created, else it will throw an error. Then it is the IAM users, that IAM member role, that for all users it is getting created. So it's invoker Cloud Run invoker role. And after that, after getting created, in the output section, what we want is we want the actual URL that we get, that is displayed on the UI. So we are getting the status 0, which will actually give the URL of the application where we can hit from the browser. So that is what is happening. So let's go ahead and run it. Let's do a Terraform init. And Terraform provider is there. Now let's clear the screen again. Let's do a Terraform apply. And yes, you can do a plan, but Terraform apply does the plan. So you can see that it will add all these things. So there should be 3 things. Yes, there are 3 things that will be created. Let's say yes. Hopefully it works. Or if it not, then definitely we'll debug it. So okay, let's see here if the service is getting created. Let's go back. And if it is getting created, that means it is work in progress. Yes, it is saying creating over here. Let's go back here and see. Or do we need to refresh it? Let's do a refresh. And you can see that the Cloud Run IAM is in creating state. So it is getting created in the region that we have mentioned. And it is the default service. I mean, it is the fully managed Cloud Run that we have created from Terraform. It is not on the GKE. So let's go back to the Cloud Shell. It is getting created, and after getting created, it should give the URL as well. So it's 50 seconds elapsed. Yeah, I think that's decent enough. And we can check back and forth just to verify, or maybe just to pass the time. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions regarding anything of this. So I'll be happy to answer. I'll be there for, I mean, let's spend a few minutes after the session and take your queries if there are any, and then we will close. So it is created, and now it should give me the ID. Yes. So it gave me the URL that we expected. Now let's click on this URL and it should open the app. Hopefully it should open the app. Yes, it opened. So community. So hello community. We have successfully deployed a Cloud Run application using Terraform. So I think go back. That's what I say. So whatever demos I and Soloni have shown today, so go back, try them out, and tweet us the images. Like this is what we have created, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. You can reach me out on Twitter or on the Discord channels or on Slack. I'm there on community Slack, CO Slack, and very active over there. So you can ask me whatever things, whatever doubts you have. What I would encourage you to do is, so since this repository is pretty new, I would and I'm shaping it up. So we have a Terraform demo, we have a GKE demo that I'll put. We already did a GitHub action, so I'll put a maybe a small post or maybe MD readme file for that as well in the uh, your GitHub Cloud Run repository. So this is the repository. So I'll put a readme over here as well. So what I would want is, so if you are actually learning Cloud Run with me, then what you do is create a folder over here. I mean, fork this, create a folder of your name and your practice, whatever you are doing with Cloud Run, and I'll be happy to merge. Or you can update. You can update the README and put the resources, links, blogs that you are working on. I would be happy to include those as well. And let's grow this repository and create a single source of Cloud Run demos that we are doing. So that would be kind of a contribution from your side as well. And let's go to the live stream and see if we have any questions. And I think we don't have much of the questions. So that's it from today's session. And I hope you enjoyed all the demos. So I'll make sure to break down the videos and post it. And you are having now 3 videos on serverless and Cloud Run. And you have a lot of demos that I have covered already. I'll see if I get more hands on to the demo, or we'll move on to some other serverless topic. So thank you all for being there and spending your Sunday time with me. And with this, I would stop the stream. Thank you all. Bye. Have a nice rest of the day.